Hi everyone, welcome to Daily Chess. I'm once again playing against Perhacker. It's a 15-minute rapid game on ICC. Okay, so let's start the game.
Game started.
Obviously we're starting with white. Okay, let's wish good luck. Okay. And now I would like to start with knight f3 to avoid his Benoni. Although I feel quite well there, I prefer to avoid it. And well, let's go c4. He might go c6, d5, which he usually plays. Yeah, as he does now. I could try to opt for some anti-Slav setup with a g3 and so on. Trying to keep an English structure, but I think I feel safe enough to challenge him in the Slav. I usually play this e3 system right now, as though I added this queen c2 lineup, which is recommended by the book Vulture's Weapons, and it's pretty decent. Yeah, it gives nice structures, and I think white can at least keep some small pressure on the board. At least not the typical advantage in the Slav for white. There's more space, and yeah, but all in all, black structure is of course very solid and it's not a guarantee to give an advantage. Okay, e3. So let's see what he does. Bishop g4 is one line. Bishop f5 is another main line. After bishop g4, I mainly played queen b3 here, which was I think an idea by Westland Topalov, who just recently won the I don't know, either was I think the Grand Prix in Zug or the Alekai Memorial. I'm not sure. I think the Grand Prix in Zug. Yeah, so it's an interesting idea which he played a long time ago, and I adopted this variation. The other main line goes with h3, and after bishop h5, you can later on follow up with g4 and so on. It's a bit more ambitious and maybe a bit more risky because you advance your king side here. Okay, queen b c7 is interesting. I would say, okay, I did not study this much. I just know one game of it, and queen b3 is another, b6 is another idea which white simply ignores, because knight c3 develops and so on. But queen c7, I think the problem being that the rook appears very fast on this file here because of the knight c3 already gained a tempo, so he has to prevent this and protect the pawn with e6. I might maybe even go knight e5. That's also an interesting idea. But I think it's okay to go with knight c3, bishop d2. I don't care much about this weakening there. I mean, I know it might give him some counterplay here later on, but on the other hand, I guess get the semi-open file here, and I think it's okay. Let's go with knight c3, adding pressure, so he has to already take some measures against. Of course, you can take here out. I think take with the pawn, and then advance e4. But on the other hand, okay, e6 probably comes. I think he won't take, because then I gain time with my bishop. I can develop it freely, and yeah, I think I would be slightly better already. I hope that I can cross this 2000 rating here on ICC finally. Of course, this is an unrated game because we played, I think, already 4 games, and I did not manage to find opponents who play 15-minute regular games against me. That's okay, let's go for better position here. Okay, bishop d2 comes, after which rook c1 follows, and there are some tactics here, because in the end, if the rook appears on c1, there's a... Oh, okay, he takes that. Okay, give me the bishop here. If the rook stands on c1, okay, I don't think I miss anything. I mean, this should just hang the pawn. Let me explain my idea. After bishop d2, rook c1, for instance, if we take a close look, we see that the rook is eyeing on the queen here. And finally, if we take a look, we see that the rook in a way pins this pawn here, and if I take,
Server
he either
announcement.
frees the c file, and I have a discovered attack, or if he takes with knight, I would take, and he couldn't retake because the pawn is pinned, and he would lose a piece. Well, that's the basic tactic. Of course, if he backs it up with e6, I would simply take, because even if he takes with the pawn, I can sacrifice my queen here, and if he takes, the queen is unprotected against 7 and it hangs, and yeah, white should win. After this, I mean, I can simply crush his structure, get a pawn for free, and I don't see any realistic chances how I can actually even try to gain compensation for it. I mean, it looks hopeless. Probably it is. But I'm currently checking one interesting idea. Of course, I take, and let's say he takes with the pawn here. I might even consider taking with going bishop b5 check first. Looks quite decent. I'm not quite sure. Let's see. So I could simply win a pawn with this, but I can also try again a tempi without my piece. But on the other hand, I could still continue bishop b5 later on once he exchanges it, because then we simplify and I should have an edge. Okay, knight takes d5. I don't think I miss anything. Can't take on c1. He can't. Okay, he can give the check on a5. But then I retreat, and I think I'm fine. So let's go for this. Win a pawn. Okay, thank you. And now, okay, bishop d2 and rook c1 is still a resource idea I have. Well, this is not that good. Okay, why? First of all, I can play bishop b5 as I planned before, but I could also immediately force an exchange of queens with queen e5, attacking the rook and the queen. So he has to exchange it off. The disadvantage, the drawback of this idea is that the structure, in a way, I have difficulties creating a passed pawn then, because yeah, I don't have this majority here anymore. If I go with bishop b5 check, he can either play knight d7, after which we reach an endgame because I would exchange it off everything, or we could play knight c6. Knight c6 looks more ambitious, which even looks quite decent actually. But I think, well, after knight c6 I could even go with queen e5, and then he can check, and it wouldn't be that great anymore. Maybe queen e5 again takes it. The problem is that my majority is without any value.
Check.
But on the other hand, I gain a time development. If he goes there, I can take. Probably shouldn't. Say takes. If he takes with the queen, I reach a favorable ending. I'm probably winning just because of my extra pawn. This weakness here. If he takes with the pawn, I go queen c4. And I have this permanent weakness there, which I can attack. Bishop d2, b4, rook c1, and so on. I think it's just there for me.
Check.
Let's give a check. Yeah, of course. Okay, go back. I have to take care of this queen, so because she's quite active there. Okay, that's one idea, of course. Rook b4 is not a threat because I don't see any idea with it. After this, I have to be cautious, at least a bit. I think I go with short castle. Should be fine. Can go bishop d6 to attack this pawn here. After h3 probably in king g2 and so on. It's without value. I could even go with this, I think. It should be enough. Let's go. Okay. H3. I mean, you cannot enter G3, which would be a disaster because check, and might be mate. But let's see which kind of counterplay does he have. I mean, the only chance he has is to somehow try to use my weakened file here, rook b5 for instance. That looks too slow. I can't imagine that this should work somehow. Here it comes. Plans to check me, but I go with this move, preventing his idea. Can't advance this pawn because the rook hangs. Can't advance this pawn because this pawn hangs. He could of course castle, but then I would gain time to develop my pawn, bishop. Then play b3, rook f for instance. I guess I would play rook f to c1 and then pressure this pawn here. And creating this pin, because if the rook appears in c1 there's a pin on this pawn. So I would threaten to take here. Oh, no, sorry, what I'm talking about. I mean, so just with simplification, I would repair. I mean, it wouldn't lose my advantage probably. I mean, I'm still a pawn up, but okay, I would have a majority back. Okay, that's one advantage of it. And then it would just lead to an exchange, but should favor me. I mean, in the end, I'm still a pawn up. Okay. Well,
Check.
Okay. I think this is a dubious idea. Okay, maybe he's playing something like, let's say, king h1, rook h5. But after all, I can still go king g2. If queen g3, this would be devastating probably. Okay, could go to h1, but nevertheless. Let's have some sweets. My only problem, I would say my only weakness in the position is this pawn. If I could somehow use this pawn. Sorry. Okay. Here's one. There's one problem right now again. I would even say there are two. I could either shut in the bishop with e5 or with f4. The advantage of f4 is that if it takes, I take, takes, and the pawn here on c6 hangs. The other, if I go there, should still be lost. Let's shut it in with e5. Now I'm threatening to take this bishop here because it lost this defender, queen. He should not forget that I can still check it, so I have to go with the rook properly. But then I have bishop f4. I should just lose. Okay. Yeah, of course this is possible.
Check.
I don't think I missed anything. I mean, if he checks me, I just exchange it off and go for queen g4, for instance, or just king h2 is all enough. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds. Okay. Now I have a little tactic. You can't take my rook because this check wins the queen.
Check.
Oh, whoa, whoa. It's becoming quite dangerous for him. I'm threatening to check. I could now check. He has to play rook d7. I can then pin this rook. I have to be aware, keep awareness of some threats here. Let's say, can he check? He can check me there. So then go back. Shouldn't be much more of the perpetual. No, not even that.
Check.
I think it should be enough. I'm not sure. I didn't calculate it. But it should be enough. I think it's important that I go with this rook here, because then I can go to king f1 and so on and tease some dark squares, which means in the diagonals he cannot check me anymore. And with the rook check, it's over. If he goes checks with the queen, I go king f1. Of course not king h1 because it would be mate. It would be horrible. On my phone.
Check.
King f1 should be enough. I think he has to go with rook d5, but this is horrible. I mean, I can check, I can takes and wait a minute. If I take here, you can take my rook there. Okay, I missed it actually. But on the other hand, after rook c1, I'm threatening mate. Okay, not mate, but I would win the queen. So in the end, it would be probably mate. Yeah, I don't know. He can exchange it off, and then he has to pin here. He has to go rook there, and I think exchange it off. He has the bishop. There's the bishop, and the end game shouldn't be much of a problem for me. I have a majority here. Yeah, should be over. He can go maybe. It doesn't have. But now he has a problem.
Check.
I just check here. And he cannot go with the rook. This
Black
and
resigns.
he resigned. That's great. Because queen e7, only move actually. Rook takes, check. You can go there, then it's mate. You can go there, I can discover. And it's over. Interesting game. Let's take a look at it just briefly. Okay, g6 is just a blunder, I think. Black shouldn't have enough compensation for it.
Check. Check.
I don't see an idea of this check. This bishop is just a target there, or just a weakness in the end. So it shouldn't be enough.
Check.
Okay. Great. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.